From Chris Pratt's initial teases that his voice acting was going to be out of this world, to the understandable disappointment surrounding the eventual reveal, the upcoming Mario movie has created a ton of controversy, and that might be partly due to how Pratt has talked about his performance. He claimed that it was going to be like nothing we've ever heard before, which is kind of interesting if you think about it.
Finds the queen and puts it in a hair clip. I go on a K-hole of this bee lady for like 4 hours watching her videos. She's fantastic.
Cause Pratt's not exactly known for being a voice actor. Rather, he's famous for playing lovable, relatable characters.
The first episode, it's very much a psychological thriller in tone. It's pretty dark and kind of twisted. Yeah. And this guy is he's a bit of an unreliable narrator, so his own recollection of what has gone down, we realize is wrong. And so he's having issues with his memory, he's having issues with his mind, and he can't explain what's going on, and he doesn't know whether or not he's culpable in the death of his men.
Whether those characters are battling aliens in outer space, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, or just handling the daily struggles of growing up a bit too late, like in Parks and Rec. Not to mention, Pratt's voice isn't exactly his best-known feature. It's his facial expressions that set him apart. So when he said that his voice acting in the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Film was gonna be unique, a lot of people became pretty skeptical, and I was definitely one of them. Now, it would have been great if Pratt proved us all wrong, but I guess that just wasn't meant to be. Fans were pretty disappointed when they heard his voice for the first time. There was a lot of buzz leading up to the trailer. Some cheeky fans speculated that Pratt was going to be super meta about it, possibly doing a fake Mario voice before clearing his throat and switching to his regular voice. I have a feeling that that would have been way better than what we actually got, cause as soon as Mario opened his mouth in the trailer, I was just shocked at how boring he sounded. Now don't get me wrong, Pratt's a solid actor. He's proven himself time and time again. But I feel like there's one thing that we can all agree on. Chris Pratt as Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt. In fact, there's barely anything to distinguish his voice, and that kind of ruins the immersive experience we were all hoping for. Every time Mario says something, it basically sounds like Pratt giving us a one-liner. I have nothing against his voice. It's perfectly fine, and I'm sure it suits him well in his day-to-day life. But you've got to admit, it kind of seems low effort. Like, couldn't he do something to make his voice sound different? This is a big budget film, and there's a lot riding on his performance. So I can't help but feel like he just phoned it in. It really just sounds like he's saying his lines, which is a far cry from acting, in my humble opinion. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that a famous actor just used their regular voice in an animated film.
No, a week or 8 days or 9 days we spent in water.
Yeah.
And it was, boy, I'll tell you, they put a lot of chlorine because you've got a crew of 85 people just this pool.
Tom Hanks did it with Woody in Toy Story, giving us one of the most iconic voice acting performances of all time in the process. But it's a little different when it comes to Mario. The beloved video character has a rather unique voice, and there are just so many things he says that don't sound right in a normal American dialect. Like when he says, "It's a me, Mario." There's a thick Italian accent there, which kinda helps to make the character so unique. And it's a big part of why he got so popular to begin with. The original Mario voice actor, Chris Martinet, was very intentional with his accent. He was told to talk like a regular old Italian-American plumber from New York. It's fair to say that he did a great job, and no one's going to forget his performance anytime soon. But that also means that it's downright impossible to follow up such legendary voice acting. No one expected Pratt to give us a one-to-one match of the video game voice. That would have been trying too hard.
No.
Yeah, no.
I sometimes, usually my job is to close it.
Yes, to close it. That's right.
Wouldn't be able to do that without me.
And I highly doubt he'd have been able to pull it off. The thing is, trying to put your own unique spin on a much-loved voice is one thing, but ignoring everything that makes the voice so special, that's just not the sort of thing any self-respecting fan would tolerate.
Here's what this is. Tell them.
Oh, he's very angry.
Yes.
Each one of you is getting a ticket to come to the premiere.
Let alone enjoy. However, to be fair, Pratt has at least a few supporters in his corner who are quick to defend him. The directors of the film still think that Pratt is the right choice. They've gone so far as to call him the perfect fit. That might be pushing it in my book, but I guess they wouldn't have cast him in the part if they didn't believe in him.
He's promoting a movie called Passengers. Critics are saying is the greatest movie in the history of time. Primarily, he's known for a film called Passengers.
It's the best movie in history.
In the history of movies.
According to directors Jelinek and Aaron Horvath, Pratt is great at bringing some blue-collar charm to the character. And if there's one thing that Pratt knows how to do, it's bring a ton of heart to every role he plays. That's kind of the main reason why he's gotten so big in Hollywood. No one does lovable like Chris Pratt does. And Mario's gonna have to bring some heart to the table. Otherwise, no one's gonna watch the film. What's more, Pratt himself has gone on the record to describe all the hard work he's put in. Despite how bland he sounds, he still insists that there's a twist no one's gonna expect. Although I can't help but wonder what this twist could even be. Like, is he gonna suddenly break into the Mario voice as a secret in-joke? Will he start talking in a stereotypical Italian-American accent to break the ice? Either way, Pratt's got his work cut out for him, cause fans are never gonna forgive him if he butchers the character's big screen debut. One thing he's often said is that he's approaching voice acting completely differently to live roles, which makes sense cause it's just an entirely different ballgame. I'm glad he's aware of the differences between voice acting and live acting, but anyone with half a brain could figure that out.
Oh, she's actually really fantastic. She's a really cool gal.
I do think it's incredible when people do stuff like that.
I guess there's also the fact that him and the directors work together to bring something new to the mix, and everyone involved in the film is quick to remind fans that there's more to Pratt's performance than meets the eye. But that hasn't stopped fans from tearing him apart on social media. The memes have been hilarious, and I just hope that Chris doesn't take any of this personally, cause at the end of the day, having Chris Pratt voice Mario might not be the worst thing in the world. OG voice or no, Pratt's got the talent to bring the goods. Look, no one seriously expected Pratt to copy the video game voice. There was simply no way to make that happen without making the film seem like a parody. So, in a way, Pratt using his regular voice was the only thing he could do. And besides, voice acting is about more than just making your voice sound different. Comedic timing, emotional levity, and volume control are just a few of the things you need to master. And I, for one, think that Pratt has what it takes to deliver the good. Chris's own excitement at getting the role is also pretty endearing. It shows us that he's not just in it for the payday. Rather, he wants to do whatever he can to make the fans happy. And that alone is enough to give me hope. Some might think that I'm being kind of crazy here, cause it's certainly hilarious at just how much Mario sounds like plain old Pratt. But I'm not just saying this to score points. If you get over the fact that Pratt's using his regular voice, and remember that that's just something Hollywood actors do in animated flicks, you'll start to notice that he actually sounds pretty good, all things considered. That's all from me on how Chris Pratt feels about playing Mario.
Bedazzled, I think it might be a raccoon, or it could be maybe a fox.
Is it a herbivore or a carnivore?
No, it's got pointy teeth, so I think it's maybe a predator, or maybe it's something that eats a bunch of stuff like a raccoon or like a possum or something.